Am I on?
You're on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Big Brown Breakdown. We are coming to you at 1:15 in the morning here in London. I just got off stage at the Leicester Theatre. Leicester, you got this.
Right.
Leicester Theatre here in London. It was my final show here in London. Tomorrow I am up at 8 a.m. taking a train to Manchester, where I have one show there at the Lowry Theatre, and then I am off the next morning on Saturday to Dublin, where I have 6 shows. I think the only tickets that are left are the matinee show on the 7th of August. So if you're listening to this and you're in Dublin, you want tickets, they released the comps and everything, but the only ones they did it on are the 7th of August, the early show. tfatk.com if you want those. I apologize if I have a little bit of low energy. This whole podcast is fueled by fruit pastels and wine gums, and I've had 2 Cadbury eggs. My diet has gone to shit. It's official. My diet has gone to shit in here. In London, it's been great. It's been a fun trip. I've always wanted to come out here, and for obvious reasons. My mom was born and raised here. I have family here. It's just a good environment, and I'm sure as hell glad I decided to do it. The crowds have been amazing. Everyone's been great. I've had fish and chips literally at every meal. It's a little weird that in London, the service, there's no tipping, so the service isn't great, I would say, because they don't have to work for a tip. I feel like you fucked up on that, London, because they're not working for, they have nothing to do. They're getting paid regardless, so they're not the friendliest. But I've had some great food, tons of fish and chips. You know how when you go to a Rogan show, Rogan has to tell you guys, don't bring him candy, or don't bring him weed. Well, don't bring me candy. So Rogan gets weed, and that's awesome. And shout out to the one guy who did bring me some weed. But for the most part, all my fans bring me candy. I literally have pounds and pounds of wine gums, which I'm grateful for. Last night, we decided to sample some of the weed someone gave us, and I was up to about 4 a.m. in my undies watching Mars Attack and eating just pounds of wine gums. It was an awesome experience. It was awesome. Went to the Tower of London today, or London Tower. I didn't know. I thought when you get in there, it's all good, and you see the tower and see the royal jewels. But then you get there, and there's another line you got to wait in. So I just broke out my phone, Google searched the royal jewels, saw it on my phone, decided not to wait, and went to the torture chamber. I felt like I was in Game of Thrones. Felt awesome. Other than that, wanted to go on this haunted tour, but we're busy every night. I want to see like all the Jack Ripper shit, whatever. Shopping, ridiculous here. We ran to Usain Bolt at Gucci. He's giant. I don't know if you've ever seen Usain Bolt. He's giant. So that was cool. The whole shopping scene here is another level. Another freaking level. So I love it, man. I apologize we couldn't get this out earlier with all the stuff going on with UFC 214 and being on tour. It's been a beast, but this was the only time I could find time to do it. So here we are. As much as I love London, goddamn, I'm missing LA. I got to be honest. But all right, let's get into it. Let's go over some UFC 214, Chin. A lot was happening. I've heard all the gossip and all that stuff. I mean, we'll start with my boy Brian Ortega. Pulls another one out of his ass with 3 minutes in the third round. Against Renato Marciano in a guillotine choke. So shout out to Brian Ortega, Big Brown Breakdown alumni. I thought he looked great. The thing, what scares me about Brian is he was losing basically the first 2 rounds in 2 minutes into the last round, and then pulls it out with a submission with a kind of a huge ear on Haneto's part. But I love Brian. I think he's going to be a top 5 guy now, but it's scary because when you get to those upper echelon guys, I don't know if you can keep pulling these out. So my whole thing with him is I just hope he gets better and better and he keeps winning, and he seems to do that. So shout out to him. Huge win for Sterling over Renan Barão. Huge win. That does not go unnoticed. To beat Renan Barão, especially at that catch weight of 140 pounds, which the California Commission made Renan Barão do because he's missed weight before, and they thought it was dangerous for him to make 35. So they do this catch weight at 140. I thought by far biggest win of Sterling's career. Ricardo Lama, Jason Knight. That one's a bit of a heartbreaker because I thought it was too much for Jason Knight. I thought he was an up and comer. He's a guy everyone's excited to watch. He's a guy, he's the redneck Diaz brother. So there's a lot of promise in him. Well, when you give him a top 5 guy like Ricardo Lamas and he goes in there and just outclasses him, where do we go from here, man? So we know he's not in the top, tier of guys. So it's like, it's tough to do. It's very tough to do. So they didn't do him any favors. I know he asked for that fight, but the management, everyone needs to kind of be an advocate for Jason Knight and not give him that fight that soon. That's my brother that keeps coughing. He has AIDS. He caught AIDS here in London. And then we go to the main card. So I was in Chicago, did the live show, and then went to this place called 50/50 Club, right? Is that right, Chin?
Yes, 50/50 Club.
Shout out to the 50/50 Club. It was amazing, man. They were... I hate watching fights at bars for obvious reasons, but they put us in this private room. No one bothered us. It was amazing. Good food, good beer. Everything was amazing. And that venue where we did it at in Chicago, what was that theater called? Do you remember?
That was the Pleasant...
Thalia?
Yes, I forgot.
Thalia?
Oh, yeah, Thalia.
Thalia Theater. Man, I've never seen anything like it. It's one of the oldest places out there. Shout out to my boy Matt Mars for doing all the photography, but that whole theater was amazing, man. Just the way they ran it, the green room, the food. It had like a 5-star rating food that they were bringing us. It was ridiculous. And thanks for everyone coming out. I told you to get you out of there so you'd make UFC 214. I told you. It was a great crowd, man. Packed house. A little weird doing it so early, but nonetheless, thank you, Chicago, for coming out. So the main card, I'm watching it there. Jimmy Manoa versus our boy Ozdemir. On the companion, I was like, Ozdemir, number 1, pound for pound greatest. And homeboy's just doing the damn thing, isn't he? I mean, against Jimmy Manoa, he's a tough customer, man. He's not exactly some cakewalk. And Ozdemir, he just believes in himself so much. He's not using the best technique. I feel like he just wants it more than these guys. But how far does that get him? Does he beat a Gustafsson? Does he beat a John Jones or a DC for that matter? With what he's doing, I don't think so. I would love to see Ozdemir go on and be champion. It'd be hilarious. I mean, he's just walking through guys. But I think when he gets to those top 3, he might run a little bit of trouble. And it's gonna be interesting to see if he doesn't, if he does hit a guy and he doesn't fall down, where's his mind frame at, stuff like that. At welterweight, obviously one of the biggest fights of the night, Robbie Lawler versus my boy Don Cerrone, who was on the Big Brown Breakdown. Sorry, he was on the Fighter and the Kid. He was my co-host the week of the fight. Shout out to Donald. I love you. Man, this fight, I see a lot of complaining. Everyone goes, oh, it's ridiculous. Donald got robbed. And listen, no one got robbed. Either way that fight went, no one got robbed. In my heart of hearts, I wish I could sit here and lie to you guys and go, Donald won that fight, man. And, that second round, it's 10-8, but not really, not really. I think I think Robbie Lawler won the first round, and I think he won the third round. I really do. And the CompuStrike numbers, Callan texted me the same thing. I've had a few people text me and go, but look at the CompuStrike numbers. And I tell you guys this all the time. You can't base CompuStrike and just go, let's say you didn't watch the fight and just look at those numbers, go, Donald won that fight. Well, that's not true. Donald's fighting style that night, because of Robbie Lawler controlling the octagon, applying pressure, forced Donald to throw more shots, not power shots, more shots to keep Robbie Lawler at distance. So that's why those CompuStrike numbers are so high in favor of Donald for most of the night. But that first round, you could even, if you want to argue 10-8 for Lawler there, even though with the takedown with Donald. And then the third round, I give it to Robbie too. So I thought Robbie edged it out 1-3, which it kills me to say that. Amazing fight. Donald doesn't lose any momentum here, losing a fight like that, especially, going on. And then with Cyborg, Tanya Evinger. Is Tanya Evinger the toughest, mom we've ever seen? I call her zombie mom. I'm talking about Tanya Evinger, zombie mom. She looked like she had to get out there to go to PTA meeting. She looks like she makes the meanest sloppy Joe we've ever seen. And she was just at a school making lunches like, yeah, I'll fight Cyborg. She's just tough as shit, man. So I think she was the surprise of the night. First team all toughness. Big Brown goes to Tanya Evinger. But she just has nothing for Cyborg. She was just a punching bag. She literally had nothing for her. But, and with Cyborg, she was, I wanted to do this. I don't want to get her out there early. I wanted to show my skills and stuff like that. Man, we want you to be this straight up murderer. You need to be that Mike Tyson type of fear in bitches. We don't need you going in there calculated, being reserved. Like, be the killer. As Rogan said on the broadcast, goes, prepare yourself for violence. Like, that's what we're looking for out of her. She did her job, and she's finally champ. It's been a long time coming, so I'm so happy for Cyborg. I don't know who beats her. You know, I know Kat's calling her out. Zingano's looking for that fight. And then, obviously, I think Holly. I think the Holly is what they want to make. You know, and stylistically, Holly versus Cyborg, on paper, it's the toughest matchup for Cyborg because Holly's counter punching. You know, she's good off her back foot. Cyborg's style kind of is tailor-made for Holly. I still don't think Holly gets it done. I really don't. I don't think there's no one to compete with Cyborg. I think she mops her. I think she gets it done faster than she did with Tanya Evinger. I really do. I mean, Cyborg's just a complete freak, man, in the best of ways. Man, Woodley, Damian Maia, there's a million opinions on this, right? Mm-hmm. Woodley, Damian Maia, I think... Listen, you know, watching at the bar we were at, there's people who are super into UFC. They were there for the UFC event. I was watching these people with UFC shirts on, UFC fight kits on, get up and walk out of the bar. The fight was so boring. It is what it is, man. I love Woodley. That was a boring fight. I get playing it safe, and I get all that, and I get you want to retain your belt and stuff like that. But and his takedown defense is impressive, but you also find a guy with who has no wrestling pedigree. Like, I expect him not to get taken down. What I expected was Damian Maia to figure shit out in 25 minutes with Woodley and pull guard. You're not going to take him down. You got to be shitting me. You have that long of camp. You knew he was going to be champ. You knew you were going to fight him, and your whole plan was to take him down. This world-class wrestler, a Big 12 champion, an All-American, that was the goal. You should slap the shit out of your team. Like, that's not happening, man. So why he didn't pull guard in 25 minutes is crazy to me, especially after the first 7 takedown failed attempts. So I think it's a combination of things because Maia pushed the pace. I honestly thought with the Robbie Lawler decision, I thought I could see them giving this to Damian Maia because he's pushing the pace. He's attempting. Since when do we reward a guy for takedown defenses? I think they should, but that's not the way the rules are set up. So I honestly thought, wow, Damian Maia is really pushing the pace. He's the only reason there's any action. Woodley throws a right hand once every 4 minutes. It's the lowest punches ever thrown in a title fight by far. And, I'm a Woodley fan. I think he's a complete freak. But he's not winning any fans. He's not. And, Dana came out and criticized him, and then he said Dana owes him a public apology. And me, guys, I always stick up for the fighters, but here it's tough to argue. I was bored to fucking tears in that fight. It was so boring, man. It was so boring. And I was afraid that was going to happen just because of their styles. And I get Damian Maia as a monster on the ground. You can't be terrified. Come on, man. It just... I don't know. You're not winning any fans with that. And matter of fact, not only did you not win fans, you lost the biggest fight in your career against GSP. It was so boring. It was so boring that they're like, you know what? Nah, you ain't getting GSP. GSP, here's Bisbing. So you lose out on a lot. And you got to understand, too, remember, like when I break this down for the live crowds or when I talk about it with people, they go, yeah, but he kept his title. He did, but this isn't 2010. Where the title means everything. We're talking super fights. That's what leads the world today. And the purists go, well, no, it's titles. No one gives a shit you're the title holder. You're telling me Woodley's more famous than Nate Diaz, who doesn't have a title? You're telling me Woodley's more famous or is a bigger draw than Donald Cerrone? No. You're telling me he's a bigger draw than Uriah Faber was, who never held the title in the UFC? No. The titles it's not shit anymore. So when you go, at least he has the title, I guess, man. But you're not. You're just not a draw. You're not. There's no demand for you when you fight. So, again, that's on him. Hey, congrats. If that was your game plan, great game plan. I thought Damian Maia is just as guilty not pulling guard with his horrible takedown attempts against a world-class wrestler. So it's the perfect combination of shit. So you get why Dana never made this fight for a long, long time. It took Damian Maia 7 fights to get here, and then you're fighting a guy like Woodley. It was just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. I understand what the guys are going through, and I was frustrated, so I can't imagine fans. But at least Woodley's champ. Who's next for him? Who knows? Maybe Lawler, I guess, again. He at least isn't just going to try and take him down nonstop. I don't want to see him and Wonder Boy for a third time. That shit. I'd love to see Wonder Boy versus Cowboy. I'd love to see Masvidal versus Woodley, but Masvidal needs to get another win, right? So who knows? And then John Jones, DC. Man, if you listen to the Big Brown breakdown before this fight, my whole thing, I said those first 2 rounds, John's going to, I don't care how good he is, he's going to suffer a little bit from ring rust. So it's going to be a feeling out period for him. DC's going to look good. I thought DC looked damn good in those first 2 rounds. His vintage DC getting his grill, pushing the pace. He had that amazing trip. John took him down with a trip, and then he reversed him. DC was doing well, man. Landed that uppercut, dropped his mouthpiece, landed some good leg kicks. The whole thing, John Jones was setting up some great just body work. His body work is what really stood out to me. Sorry, guys, it's late. So I thought John looked amazing. And that whole 3rd round, I said, John's going to come alive in that 3rd round. Sure enough, that head kick, and you finish guy in DC. What's next for DC? What's next for Jones? Listen, for DC, I think it's if I'm his manager, I'd probably say retire. You're 38. You have a cush job with UFC tonight. You have a great job doing the commentating at the pay-per-views with Rogan and Dominic Cruz and Brian Stan and John Anik and those guys. You got a good crew. I don't get why you keep doing it. You're never going to beat John. If you had one shot, it'd probably be this time. You got head kick KO. You've never been stopped in your career. You're 38. What are you going to stick around the 205 division? You fight Gustafsson again. I think Gustafsson's only got better. He probably beats DC at this point. I don't get what you do. I really don't. He's had a phenomenal career, and he's not young. That's the other thing people forget. He's not young. For John Jones, there's all the Brock Lesnar talk, and I'm all for that because I think like the UFC thinks, where they need paydays, they need big pay-per-view numbers, so that's why we're getting all these super fights. So that's why I say that stuff. Not because it's the right thing to do, because it's the business thing model that they've been kind of doing lately. That's why I always say these super fights. The right thing to do is John Jones versus Gustafsson. It's the only thing to do. I think it's a hell of a fight. I think Gustafsson's gotten better since last time they fought. That was a close fight. John has more momentum now. He's a bigger star now this time that they fought. So that's the fight. Brock's not fighting anyways because he can't fight 2018 because of the whole USADA stuff. So he has to get back in testing, probably get off the juice, then they have to fight. I love that fight too, but just fight Gustafsson so there's no question. You've cleared out the 205 division besides my boy Ozdemir, and you avoid him at all cost, John. Avoid Ozdemir all cost, son. Take 2 baths. So avoid him. You fight Gustafsson, clear out the division. There's no one left, and then you just go to heavyweight. I don't see many heavyweights that beat him at all. I don't see any heavyweight that beats him, to be honest with you. Maybe a taller guy in Verdum give him some more problems, but Stipe, Overeem, any of those top 5 guys, I think John kind of walks through them. So there's that, man. That's the 214 catch-up. I know it's been late, so I apologize, guys, but there you have it. There's a fight card this weekend I give 2 shits about. It's terrible, but it is what it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, there you go. That's how good it is, Jen. My boy Rashad Evans actually fighting on the undercard against Sam Alvey.
Yeah, that's a weird matchup.
Yeah, I know. I don't get what Rashad's doing anymore. I love Rashad, but on the undercard against Sam Alvey. Let's go jump to some current events, man.
No, just kidding. The first one is you. This is on MMAfighting.com.
I'm going to eat a pastel. Carry on.
What?
I'm eating a fruit pastel.
Yeah. Enjoy.
For energy.
It says that you made an odd bet that Conor McGregor not only wins a couple rounds, but he lasts all 12. And the bet is that you would bet a dick pic. What do you have to say about that?
That really escalated. I should probably sit up so I don't fall asleep. Paulie just texted me. We'll get to that. Right, there's all the Paulie rumors. Got knocked down at least by Connor Sparn. We'll get to that. I'm sure you have in your current events.
Yes.
All right, great, grand, wonderful. Yeah, the dick pic, it was just a joke. I was doing something in New York. It really escalated. My mom saw that. Anyways. I'm just, I think it's going to go 12 rounds. I can't bet $100,000 anymore. Max Kellerman, he's not taking the bait. He said, his team said you never know what's going to happen in fights with the judges, so that he doesn't want to bet the money, even though I opened a joint account, put the money in there. #scared, the Skip Bayless ESPN. But it's whatever. So I'm not betting more money, so then I was just fucking around, said a dick pic. What can you do? God, I think if Conor gets knocked down like the 3rd round, I send this dude a dick pic. gonna send him just a frumpy, old, shriveled up, out of the cold shower dick pic. Just a sad one on top of 100K. What else you got?
You kind of talked about it already, but Tyron Woodley demanding a public apology from Dana White because Dana White was criticizing his performance at UFC 214. And he said he's going to start leaking shit.
Yeah, I think the shit that he has to leak is like racist stuff from the UFC brass.
Damn.
That's what I think it is. I don't think he has any dick pics or anything like that. That wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, Woodley did came out, and I think and this always happens. These fighters talk all this shit. Dana White calls in person, goes, "Yo, what's up?" They talk man to man, and then Woodley sing a different tune now. I don't know if you've seen that. I saw it earlier this morning. Woodley's like, "Oh, hey, talk to boss, man. It's all good. Thanks, boss." You know, it's like you ain't gonna do shit. So that's how that goes.
Bummer. All right, Michael Bisping. He said that Daniel Cormier crying after UFC 214 gave Jones the ultimate effing revenge. And he said that he wouldn't himself cry, so he doesn't know why DC did it. He should have saved that for the private moments.
I don't get why we care. I mean, I think with Bisping, everyone's all, it's the macho thing to do. Cry behind closed doors. God damn. He's not a 50s housewife. It's not the 1950s. We can't show your emotions. I think anything, it makes you more of a fan of DC. It shows he's human. It means he's wanted it that much, and he's not afraid to show it. I think Bisping's just wrong on that. There's no need to get your dick out and have a pissing contest and show your toughness because you didn't cry on TV. You know, what are you talking? That's such a meathead thing to say, and I love Bisping, but he's just off on that. And the ultimate revenge, no, the ultimate revenge isn't crying. The ultimate revenge is getting kicked in the fucking face and having on replay on UFC Unleashed every goddamn day on Fox Sports. So that's the thing. It's gonna be interesting when those two have to do a show together, and that's gonna be awkward because they have to do UFC tonight together. So I just think it's just an old school way of thinking. Don't let them see you cry, bro, even though you lost. God damn, relax, meathead. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all.
Cool. How about Conor McGregor actually Mayweather saying he wants Conor McGregor to go down to 8-ounce gloves so he can give Conor any advantage he needs?
Listen, Mayweather could say, hey, we're going to put 2 lions in the cage, we're going to put zebras, and then we're both going to have rocket launchers. And what's surprising to me is people still fall for this. So the way this works, so just like you said, we'll fight with 4-ounce gloves, we'll fight with no gloves, I'll fight MMA after this, we'll do this, we'll do that. There's a commission for a reason. It's just not the Wild West. So the only way you can do 8-ounce gloves if it was at 147 pounds. You cannot do 8-ounce gloves at 154 pounds, which the fight is sanctioned at and agreed upon. You have to do 10-ounce gloves. So by him saying this, and everyone goes, oh, damn, what else are they going to do? Is he going to come in with lasers on their head? No, all this, he might as well said that. It doesn't matter. All that's out the window. So, you know, it's fun for sound bites, fun to post and get people's reaction, but it's not real. That's just that they're honey dicking you. Next.
Okay. Chael Sonnen says to Flow Combat that he believes that Chuck Liddell will be fighting him. That will be his next opponent. It has legs, the rumor.
I mean, I love Chael. I love Chuck. Would I watch it? Yeah. Is it the right thing to do? You'd watch it, Jin?
I would, but I wouldn't.
I would watch it, but my thing is with Bellator is like, I'd much rather see Chael Sonnen versus Ryan Bader or Phil Davis or like a legit contender, like a young guy, or build up one of these younger guys. I think when you keep doing these Chael versus Vanderlei, Royce Gracie, Ken Shamrock 7, Fedor versus Vanderlei, it almost stops your organization from growing. I think to be taken more serious, which they are, and they just had that huge Madison Square Garden card, like the Lorenz Larkin versus Lima is a real fight. Bader, Phil Davis, there's a ton of examples. Michael Chandler still needs to fight. So there's all these guys that they should be promoting more and not have it such legend, like I think put those legends, they should lead the pay-per-view, like meaning they should be the first fight and then put the real guys who are in the prime of their careers as the main event, co-main event, but just don't sell it on these 2 older legends fighting.
I'm sure it'll do pretty decent though, right?
Yes, Chuck Liddell. I mean, you go down to the South, they're like, yeah, boys, the best ever. They're watching it.
Okay, how about we go into that thing with Paulie Malignaggi Yeah, there were like Twitter posts and stuff. Of
Yeah, so Connor's
bad.
team, they sparred. So Connor blasted out. Let me read his text.
Pictures.
Let me read his text. Go ahead and explain it, Chin.
Well, Connor's like either an Instagram dedicated to Connor that I'm sure his team is responsible for. They posted pictures of him pretty much working Malignaggi, knocking him down. The pictures don't look good at all, like him getting hit in the face. And Paulie just looks like he's getting beat up bad. And then Paulie seems as though he's defending himself. I think you know more about the story, though.
So I see obviously Connor's teams, they control all this media. Paulie's, he's there as a visitor. They brought him in as a sparring partner. They've done him a little dirty, to be honest. I expected more at Connor's team, but that's what happens. They're just trying to get good work, I guess, and they're viewing him just as a paid sparring body who's, former world champ. So, which I've never been that way. I've always, if the guy's going to help you, take care of him like family. But, with Connor, he posts these pictures. They kind of control the narrative, right? And Connor obviously has the bigger draw. So when his team releases these pictures, it looks like Paulie got knocked down. Someone posted and went, "Oh shit, Paulie gets knocked down in sparring." I went, "No fucking way!" Like I was like, "What?" I look at him like, "Damn, Paulie looks like his ass is on the ground." So I text Paulie right when I get done with my show. I went, "Yo, what happened there, man? Everything all right?" And this is Paulie's tweet. Hopefully, I'm not stepping on the line here. He just put, "Yeah, I was pushed down, man. That's it. That's it, man. I'm leaving today. Hopefully they release the full unedited rounds 1 through 12. That's all I'll say right now. I hope they release those. I have confidence in what happened, and Tuesday sparring. Hopefully they release the full video. You'll see why." So, I just think. It's just it's a bad look. I heard those guys got into it. They're shit talking. They're going at it pretty serious. And Paulie, I think he was a little offended because they flew him in, used him for 6 rounds or 8 rounds the first time, kept him there for 2 days. They knew he had to be in New York. Then he flies to New York to work for Showtime to do the Mikey Garcia-Broner fight, which we should talk about real quick. And then he does that. Then they fly him back out. He gets off the plane. They have him spar 12 rounds. Lorenzo's there. The whole UFC team's there. Dana's there. So it kind of seems it's a little shady to do. It's a little setup. And then Paulie has to go in there and do work. Anytime he's been, doing, media stuff and all this nonstop. So it's tough, man. I don't know exactly what's going on. I got to talk to Paulie, but it sounds like he got pushed down. There's some shots snapped, and it is what it is, man. Not the way I'd go about it on either side, though.
How many more are you like?
Give me 2 more.
2 more.
Tired, Chin. How are you breaking down?
I'm not.
You're not made for this. You're not made for this.
Let's
road
go
life.
for another hour. All right. So, ticket sales for the Mayweather-McGregor fight, according to Yahoo Sports, they're saying that it's not looking good. There's a ton of good seats still available. And should it be sold out by now? Isn't that what people expected?
I don't know. Was Pacquiao Mayweather sold out by now?
Good question. No idea.
I don't know, but listen, the way it sounded like no one could get tickets. So, and then you set the price so goddamn high. Why make them so high so general people can't get it? Like regular blue collar 9-to-5 people. Why wouldn't you want them there to witness history, man? Mm-hmm. So you want to set the tickets for whatever $10,000 for nosebleed? What the hell do you think was going to happen, man? It's the biggest fight ever, but don't just shut everyone off. Don't just to have it full of the elite. That's going to be a real boring ass time. Just have rich snobs up in there. So they're going to have to lower ticket prices to sell that bitch out. Still going to break pay-per-view numbers. Look at that white ass foot in the camera. Big ass white ass foot. My feet are aching. Chin and Jay got me walking around this bitch non-stop. My feet are sore. I mean, I'm burning off all the fish and chips, but goddamn.
So much fish.
What size shoe you wear, Chin?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not a small guy. Jay, you wear 12. Jay, you wear 12 too?
Right?
You don't wear you wear 13? Yeah. You got that fat dick. That's why, man. I'm 13 too, bro. We're brothers.
Hey, actually, I'm 13.
Hey, brother.
I forgot I was 13.
You're not 13. You said 12.
I could fit some 13.
I wouldn't be surprised if you had a 14, Chin.
No, 14.
14's a fat ass foot.
You want one more?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right, well, this is a 2-parter. So Anthony Joshua, his team said that he was likely to rematch Klitschko. This happened like yesterday or the day before. Then today, Klitschko announced that he's retiring.
Yeah, I can't be mad at it. What a great career. What a phenomenal career, man. And listen, I'm not mad he's not to the rematch because can't live up to the hype. I think he loses worse than he did before. I think it was the best version of Klitschko we're going to get at this point in his career. I thought he looked amazing in that fight. It's the best heavyweight title fight I can remember. It was amazing. You see a young cat and Anthony Joshua get knocked down, get his ass back up, ends up knocking him out. Just you can't write it better. So for them not to rematch, I'm not mad at it. I'm more mad at Klitschko's retirement tape. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
He's all welcome. I appreciate everyone tuning in. At everyone's career, even me, it's time to retire. Father Time does catch up with you. And just like everyone else, it's catched up with me. However, this is not the end of the road for me. I appreciate all your help. I'm going on to future, more important business adventures. And you too can follow me there. So stay tuned, Dr. Hammer lovers. And then signed off. It was some real Russian shit. Hashtag don't hack my shit, Russians. But it was some Russian shit.
Yeah, that is it.
That's it?
Man.
It is 1 in the morning.
It's
almost 2 in the morning.
Else that you heard of, Jay? In the news? No? Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
I'm trying to think anything else big.
Upcoming fight with Sergio Pettis and Brandon Moreno.
How dare you, UFC? Was that on a Sunday?
Yes, Sunday, August 6th. Joe Ban is fighting on that card against someone named Price.
Joe Ban's, my boy Joe Ban's fighting. Shout out to Joe Ban. Who else fighting on that card?
Rashad Evans.
Let me look at that card real quick. Sergio Pettis, who's really coming on lately. He's fighting Brandon Moreno, just assassin baby. He just looks like every average kid you've ever seen, but he's a monster. You got Joe Ban, you got Alex Gracio, who I'm never mad at.
Oh, she's so cute.
Take
Alexa
it easy.
Ross.
Please put your Korean boner back in your pants. Joe Ban Price is a fun fight. Alvey, Rashad Evans, I can't believe they're not at least co-main event. What a slap in their face. This is in Mexico City, Sunday night, huh? Boy, if that one's not going to do great on ratings, I can tell you that much. Maybe Mexico, not here. I heard for the UFC 14, the buy is supposed to be good. The thing is with that, I know the ratings suffer a little bit because they put on FXXXX Extreme, whatever the fuck that is. So they put it on there, so people had a hard time finding it, so it hurt the ratings because a baseball game was on. Hey, Fox Sports, is there any way you could give UFC priority over that lame-ass baseball game? I get you have scheduling conflict, stuff like that. What do you think? And I think that had 100,000 viewers. You don't think the prelim's going to kill that? So people had a hard time following along with that. But, new numbers pre-numbers are supposed to be really good. I still don't think it does 1,000 or 1 million. I think they're honey-dicking us with that. I don't think it's near 1 million. I really don't. So is that it, Chad?
That's it, man.
That is it. Live from London in this room. Real cockfest up in here. I heard this is where the dicks hang out. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we got to get on a train, head down to Manchester, go do a little interview with Sky Sports. And then Saturday off to Dublin. Show Dublin Saturday night. 2 shows on Sunday. It's a holiday on Monday. I have 2 shows on Monday. There are tickets left at the early show on Monday, 7th of August, Dublin. Come on out. Yeah, I'm delirious and sleepy. I think that's it, man.
That's it.
Thank you guys for listening. Had to get this out to you guys, even though it's late as fuck here. But I always have problems sleeping on the road, so it's whatever. I love you guys. As always. Oh, shit, I'm in Pasadena on August 8th. I think Joe Rogan's there the same night. It might be the 8th or 9th. Either way, it's that Wednesday I come back. Pasadena Ice House. Tickets on sale right now, TFATK. And tickets also just went on sale for Long Beach. They're rescheduling. If you don't have tickets, get tickets. If you had tickets, your tickets transfer to that. I told you guys I'd make it up to you. Pasadena Ice House next week. I'm coming. I think Joe Rogan's there the same night, so that bitch can be packed. And then we are in Long Beach in September. TFATK for everything you ever need, ever. I love you guys. I love you guys. As always, bigger, browner, badder, live-ish from London. I'm out.